So today I am atomic absorption spectroscopy. In our previous lectures, we have discussed infrared spectroscopy and NMR, nuclear magnetic resonance spectroscopy. So today I am going to discuss the next topic, that is atomic absorption spectroscopy. First, why we are using this method? This method is used for the determination of various elements. It may be trace elements or it may be various metallic elements. This method is Verstockel method. By using this method, we can analyze approximately 60 to 70 elements. So this is our Verstockel method and it is widely used technique. Next, we will discuss the advantages of atomic absorption spectroscopy. What are the advantages of atomic absorption spectroscopy? By using this method, we can analyze a single element in the presence of other elements also. Because in atomic absorption spectroscopy, wavelength for a particular element is fixed and is specified. For example, if we are taking the example of sodium, which shows absorption at wavelength of about 589 nanometer. Then in the presence of other elements like calcium, Ca, gold, Au, copper, Cu, or any other also, we can analyze only sodium because from radiation source we will choose 589 nanometer wavelength. And sodium will also show the absorption in 580 nanometer. So this is the basic or main advantage of this method. Now I am going to discuss the mechanism of atomic absorption spectroscopy. What is the mechanism of atomic absorption spectroscopy? So what happens in atomic absorption spectroscopy? First, we have to take the sample, and the sample is dissolved in any liquid. Then heating the sample through atomizer. You can see what is atomizer. Atomizer is used to evaporate the sample and converts our sample into the form of atoms. So after heating, our sample will be converted into the form of vapors, and in these vapors atoms are present. So after conversion into atoms, some atoms are in the excited state and some atoms remain in the ground state. If we are analyzing these excited state atoms, then it is known as atomic emission spectroscopy. But if we are analyzing these ground state atoms, then this is known as atomic absorption spectroscopy. So our area of interest, so this is our area of interest, what happens in these atoms, the ground state atoms. You can see this chart flow diagram. First of all, we have to take this sample, and this sample will be dissolved in liquid. And sample is in the form of liquid. Then heating will be done. Heating will be done. Heating will be done in the atomizer. Vapors are formed. So after heating of our sample will be converted into the form of vapors, and in this vapor atoms will be present. So after conversion into atoms, some atoms are in the excited state You can see the diagram, and some atoms will be in the ground state. Ground state. If we are analyzing this excited atom, then it is known as, then the process is known as atomic emission spectroscopy. But if we are analyzing this ground state atoms, then this will be known as atomic absorption spectroscopy. This is our area of interest. What happens in these atoms? What happens in these atoms? So this is our area of interest. अब नेक्स्ट प्रिंसिपल की तरफ जाते हैं. What is the principle of atomic absorption spectroscopy? When a beam of electromagnetic radiation of a particular wavelength is passed through the vaporized atoms present in the flame, then atoms absorb the radiation, and decrease in the intensity of the radiation will be directly proportional to the atoms present in the ground state. क्या मतलब? Means these atoms will absorb the electromagnetic radiation in the atomic absorption spectroscopy. If the amount of this ground state atoms are higher, then absorption will be higher, and if atoms in ground state are lower, then the absorption will be lower. So this is the basic fundamental principle involved in atomic absorption spectroscopy. Next is the equation. Now coming to the equation. Now coming to the total amount of energy, total amount of electromagnetic radiation absorbed by the atom at particular frequency. You can see this is the equation. Nu is equal to pi E square by mc into n into f. You can see this is the equation. What is E? Electronic charge. What is m? Mass of the atom. What is C? C is the velocity of electromagnetic radiation, as we have already discussed in our previous lectures in visible spectrophotometer. C is the velocity of electromagnetic radiation, N is number of atoms present, and F is the oscillator frequency. Now I am doing some examples. Now some examples which can be analyzed by atomic absorption spectroscopy along with their wavelength, and wavelength is shown in nanometer, and also limit of detection LOD microgram per ml. So serial number of first element AU, next Hg, AU gold, Hg mercury, Cu copper, Ag silver, U uranium, calcium, sixth one is calcium, seventh one is sodium, and eighth is potassium. The wavelength is also given. Gold wavelength 243 nanometer, and limit of detection, that is 0.09 microgram per ml. Hg mercury wavelength 254 nanometer, limit of detection 0.160. Copper Cu, and its wavelength is 325, limit of detection 0.002 microgram per ml. Silver wavelength 328, limit of detection 0.002. Uranium, its wavelength is 356, and limit of detection is much greater than compared to the other elements. 39.0. Calcium wavelength 423, and limit of detection 0.002. Sodium wavelength 589 nanometer and limit of detection 0.002, and potassium, its wavelength 767 nanometer and limit of detection is 0.002. So these are the some examples which can be analyzed by atomic absorption spectroscopy with their wavelength and limit of detection. Next, we'll discuss the basic instrumentation of atomic absorption spectroscopy. You can see the diagram. This is the diagram of atomic absorption spectroscopy. So the first part of atomic absorption spectroscopy, which is radiation source. You can see here, this is radiation source. So in radiation source of atomic absorption spectroscopy, there is one cathode and one anode. This is cathode and this is anode. Cathode is made up of hollow cathode tube. Cathode is made up of hollow cathode tube, and anode is made up of tungsten filament. So between cathode and anode, we are applying 300 to 500 voltage. After applying this much of voltage, anode will ionize the inert gases. These are the inert gases like helium and argon. Anode will ionize the inert gases present in the radiation source, which is helium and argon. And again, these ionized gases will attach to the elements of interest, which is present on the surface of cathode tube. After getting energy from this ionized gases, our element of interest will go to the excited state. For example, if we are analyzing sodium, then we will take sodium here. If we want to analyze calcium, we will take calcium here. So that element will go to the excited state. After going to the excited state, it will come to the ground state. During coming back to the ground state, it emits some electromagnetic radiation, and that electromagnetic radiation go further, and by using lens, we have focusing that electromagnetic radiation towards the flame. By using lens, इस लेंस को इस्तेमाल करते हुए we have focusing that electromagnetic radiation towards flame, and in this flame vaporized atoms will be present, because here atomizer will be there. You can see this is atomizer, because here atomizer is present. And what is the function of atomizer? As I already told you, we put our sample in the atomizer, and this sample, you can see this is sample, and this sample will go to the flame, and after going to the flame, liquid of this sample will be evaporated, and atoms of interest will go to the form of vaporized atoms, and waste material will be collected here. This is waste material. For generation of flame, we have using acetylene with combination of air. For generation of flame, we have using acetylene with combination of air, which will generate the temperature of about 3000 Kelvin. After that, some electromagnetic radiation will be absorbed by these vaporized atoms, and remaining electromagnetic radiation will go further. Apart from that, light from this flame will also go, and lens will again focus, focus the electromagnetic radiation towards the monochromator. You can see this is monochromator. This is the monochromator. In monochromator, you can see there is prism. This is a prism, and again it will be divided into various parts. So, but after that, there will be a slit. You can see in diagram, this is slit. So what is the function of this slit? By using slit, we can select specified wavelength. For example, if we are analyzing sodium, then we will select 589 nanometer. If we are analyzing potassium, then we will select 767 nanometer. And if we are analyzing gold, AU, it will be 243 nanometer. So that will be according to the wavelength of the particular element. You can see this is the detector. Next part, detector. In detector, we are using photomultiplier tube. So photon from electromagnetic radiation will attack to the cathode of this multiplier tube, and from here photon is converted into the electron. These electron will further go. To the diodes. There are various diodes present, and diodes are used for the multiplication. First diode, second diode, third diode, and this one is fourth diode. What is the function of diodes? Diodes are used for the multiplication of the electrons. So one electron, you can see from the picture. So one electron is coming from cathode, and again in diode it will be multiplied, and then again from this diode it is multiplied. So there are series of diodes. Present in photomultiplier tube. By one photon, photomultiplier tube can generate 10x power 6 to 10x power 7 electron. This is amplifier. Then from the detector, signal will go through anode and cathode. Signal will go through anode and cathode towards the amplifier, and amplifier will amplify the signals, and then again it go to the recorder. This is the recorder, you can see in the diagram, and ultimately the recorder will record the signal of the spectra of the atomic absorption spectroscopy. So this is the whole, is the basic working condition for the atomic absorption spectroscopy. There are various parts, and we have discussed these different parts of atomic absorption spectroscopy. Now coming to the next part, that is applications of atomic absorption spectroscopy. Atomic absorption spectroscopy is used for quantitative analysis. There are two types of analysis. First one is qualitative analysis, and second one is quantitative analysis. And we have already discussed in our previous lectures what is qualitative analysis and what is quantitative analysis. So by using atomic absorption spectroscopy, we have done quantitative analysis. It is highly useful for quantitative analysis, because if other elements are present also, then we can also analyze a single element, because there is no hindrance by other elements. So quantitative analysis is useful by this technique. For example, if you want to analyze calcium, फॉर एग्जाम्पल हम कैल्शियम को एनालाइज करना चाह रहे हैं किसी भी सैंपल के अंदर, एंड इन दैट सैंपल सोडियम, और उस सैंपल के अंदर सोडियम भी मौजूद है, गोल्ड Au भी मौजूद है, सिल्वर Ag, और अदर एलिमेंट इज आल्सो प्रेजेंट, then we will select the wavelength of 423 nanometer, and we can analyze calcium only. Other element will not show absorption because wavelength of that element are different. यह element का different wavelength पर अपना absorption show करता है. इसके अलावा used in various fields like analytical chemistry, it is used in ceramics, it is used for soil and water analysis, it is used in metallurgy. So these are the applications of atomic absorption spectroscopy. And next we will discuss mass spectrometry. So this is all about atomic absorption spectroscopy.